Okay, let's get going on this busy day. We're going to do the second page of the test, 11 through 14. Hopefully I can get it done in a reasonable amount of time. This is a calculator test, so my calculator is handy. And again, like on the other test, I presume that you have a copy of the test somewhere in front of you. I'm not going to write everything out. So 11 says, what is the volume in terms of pi for a cylindrical container with a radius of 3.25? So it's a cylindrical, which means it's a cylinder. R equals 3.25. Well, that's been explained to you. That guarantees that we have to use a calculator. And H equals 10. And then it might be worthwhile looking at the answers there. Everything's in terms of pi and centimeters cubed, so you're in good shape there. And everything's in centimeters. Doesn't turn out to be a big difference here. So then I write out V equals pi 3.25 squared times 10. And then we can just write this out left to right, and hopefully we'll come out with one of the choices. Remember, you do not multiply by pi, it's in terms of pi. So let's see how it works for us. 3.25 squared times 10. And since it's a cylinder, we should come up with the correct answer, and there it is, B, 105,625. So the main thing is, remember, this was in terms of pi. It really wasn't a difficult question. They're not really asking you all that much. Number 12 is an irritating question because there are so many sides you have to account for. So instead of just this long-winded explanation, what I'll do is I'll sort of break it into pieces here. I have the top, right, which is something like this, right, and then it goes down, right, like that. Well, here I got a better way to make this. Sorry to waste your time. Again, it's just like an irritating problem more than anything else. And there we go, and I'm taking the top piece, okay, all right, and I'm taking that flat part there, and then I'm doing the bottom piece, so it's this piece, this piece. So I'll just write those out. This is 5 over 2, and then I'll add the bottom piece, which is something like this, and they'll be attached. And we use the word for compound. So there are different ways to do it, but I should come up with B when I finish this. So this slither here is 10 times 5 over 2. I'm not using a calculator, so that's one of those, and that, of course, is 25. So that accounts for the slanted, flat surface area there. And they told you that this guy is 8, so its back area here is 5. 8 times 5 to 5, so that's 40 divided by 2. That's 20. And then the two triangles are going to be 8 times 6 divided by 2. Right? But there are 2 of them, so I come up with 48. And that completely covers the surface area of the top guy. Remember, we don't count this or this, okay, because that's not part of the surface area. And then this again is 5 over 2. And there are 3 of these, 1, 2, 3 little areas there. So that would be 3 times 5 over 2, okay? Times 6, of course, okay? And then the other 2 sides are the side flaps over there, which are 6 times 6, but there are 2 of those as well. So then I add all these up, this cancels, so I get 45 here. Everything's in square, they have a unit here, square inches. And then this becomes 72. And so when you add all this stuff up, you get 210 squared inches as an answer. And really, there's not that much to do except count your sides and make sure you got everything there. You can check me out. I didn't notice a lot of mistakes on the test in that part. So we'll move on there. Any questions, of course, you can ask me, and I'll be happy to answer them. Okay. Okay, I did count the bottom slab. Sometimes there's a lot of ambiguity there in the bottom slab, but I regard that as surface area unless told otherwise. Okay, and number 13, we're going to come up with B as well. So I don't know, they have this figure here, and I put it together. And inside they have this figure, okay? And they share the same height, which is 5. This is 8, and the width over here is 4. And so this is 5, and then they tell you that the length over here is 4. So it's the big, take away the small, will give you the missing piece with the hole in the middle. So the big is 8 times 5 times 4 minus the 4. Remember, they share the same height, and 20 times 8 is 160 minus 20. And I just think that you can easily come up with 140. And of course, notice the proper, here I'll put this over here so you're seeing that. This would be 140 cubic, inches or centimeters in this case. So there's the work, there's the sketch. We've done this kind of work. You should be able to do it fairly easily. And now we do number 14, and we've done in our assignments number 14 quite a few times. So I'd expect you to get it. It's a calculator problem. I don't know. I'm not going to start criticizing their problems. This is what they want you kids to know. So here we go. And all that talk about Fido and the dog feeder really boils down to that you have a cone-shaped object, and there's the formula, and there's the volume. And you know, I'll do it this way because I like to work left and right, so that equals the volume. And then you plug in what they gave you, the data, and there's 8308, and they told you it's not in terms of pi if you look carefully. It's radius anyway, and then this is 18. So immediately, just to save ourselves trouble, we divide 3 into 18, and then we divide by pi, and then we divide by 6, okay? And so we have 8308 divided by pi times 6 equals r squared. There's the famous symbol that you've learned so many times. So this is going to be the answer. It has to be, they say approximately, I believe. So you might underline that on your test. So right now I take out my calculator. I'll go on this side, and yeah, we can see it okay. And we have so we have square root. We put in 8303. And we divide in parentheses. You're going to divide 6 times pi and then close it off, and then another parentheses. You don't really need to do the second one. And bango, out comes 20.98. So again, since they said approximately, I got this on my calculator, not that it matters. And clearly the answer would imply 21, which is C. So this one we've spent 9 minutes. We did these 4 problems. Each one is verifiable for you. So as you're going over your math, you can see what mistakes you might have made, how this is working for you. And we'll come up with some more as we go along. I'll do all the problems on the test as I promised. Okay, so we'll leave this as it is now at over 9 minutes.